Hello, this is Mike Davidson, the president of American Skilled Labor Association. I want to welcome you to the apprentice program that's been approved by the United States Department of Labor and the Veterans Administration. In this short video, we're going to just walk through the mentor, the apprentice, and the shop owner's documents that you need to run the program in your organization. So we're going to jump right in, and the first document we're looking at is the workbook guide for the mentor and the apprentice. This is basically for the mentor to look at on a daily basis. I do have some information just right in the beginning that I recommend all three of you read, both the apprentice, shop owner, and the mentor. All three, you guys need to read this information just in the beginning, these first couple of pages. We made it pretty easy for you to read, but we'll jump right down here into the actual working of it. We've got day one orientation, things that we want to make sure the apprentice is aware of. And this orientation could occur by the mentor, the shop manager, or the owner. Getting into the actual work that's going to take place each day, you want to be sure and put in the start date here in the upper left-hand corner. And at the beginning of each competency group is a place for initials by the mentor and apprentice located here, mentor and apprentice, to sign off on. And this is the apprentice. This is your indication that it has been completed and demonstrated to the mentor. So these signs off are your promise that you have done this competency. So each of these are a numbered competency with some description underneath, some basic descriptions for you. But these numbers are important for you to remember as I show you in the apprentice document. So we've broken this down into 30-day requirements, and then you move on down through the 30 days. Everything we want him to know within the first 30 days, and then comes the 60 days and goes right on through the program. Again, paying attention to the numbers on the left, these are competencies that are numbered, and it's important that you know that number going forward to the next document. So this is the apprentice and mentor guide, and this is what the mentor uses on a daily basis to make sure that he is teaching the apprentice what he needs to learn in any given time period. All right, and I recommend that you print that off and put it in booklet form in the hand of the technician at his workstation, because it does require a sign off, a signature by the two of you. Next is the important document for the apprentice himself to work through. And so each day that the apprentice works, he will put in the areas. And in this example here, first you want to name this by the technician's name up here and his ASLA identification number, which you'll receive after registration with the Department of Labor. And so once that's done, the areas over here indicate the amount of on-the-job training for each of these headings that have been established by the Department of Labor. So in this example that we have before us, this apprentice spent 1.5 hours on shop safety, 2 hours on suspension and steering, an hour and a half on brakes, and we'll just go ahead and throw in another hour of electrical right there. And maybe we put on a set of tires for 0.5. And so as you do that, this is calculating anything that's unknown down here that you don't know about based upon the number of hours in the building. So throughout the day, the apprentice is simply going to put in, this is month one, day one, he's going to put in the hours he spent in these categories. And at the end of the day, he's going to put in the number of hours he was in the building. So you see the 9 hours, and you see the amount of time in each of these categories. So only the highlighted categories of yellow ought to be put in, and then this blue here up at the top. The rest of it's auto-populated. Related training is any training that is done that is not in the bay with your mentor. So this could be online training or it could be classroom training, and that needs to be recorded in there. That can happen during the day, or that can happen after work in any classes that come to town. All right, so again, each month, each day, easily listed here going across. There's 2 years listed here, year 1, year 2, and of course there's going to be 12 months there. And when we get down to the bottom, this is the other important part of it. Those numbers that you saw happen a moment ago that were already in there, they auto-populate here at the bottom of the spreadsheet. And they're going to show the goal. So in this example, we have 120 hours of shop safety training as the goal. We spent an hour and a half on this particular day. So we have 118.5 hours left. So the apprentice and mentor can always look at this and know how close they are to finishing the program. based on the goals. All auto-populated. Now, those competencies that I mentioned earlier that are all numbered in the mentor guide, they are listed and corresponded here on this sheet, so that when you've completed a competency, you're going to highlight it and you're going to just do that right there and highlight that. And then it's this document, this apprentice timesheet, that is sent back to the organization for time tracking and progress of the apprentice to make sure that his compensation is being where it needs to be based on his competency level, and that there's actually progress taking place in the program. So very simple. This is submitted once a month back to the office, and then this is filled out on a daily basis by the apprentice. And then as you sign off on any competencies, you're going to come in and highlight the corresponding competency on that sheet. So very simple for you to do that. All right, so the third and final document that we have to talk about is basically for the shop owner. And so in this example, let's say that these are the dates that you are paid. Now, if you get paid weekly, this would be a weekly entry. If you get paid bi-weekly or every other week, it'll be an every other week entry. You're going to put in the total hours, or the total dollars, I should say, the apprentice gets paid, the total dollars the mentor gets paid, and then this auto-populates. And then the total gross sales in labor. It will automatically tell you what your gross profit percentage was for labor, and you'll put in your gross profit. The gross profit dollars will be auto-populated. So for you, the shop owner, you'll put in apprentice pay, mentor pay, gross sales pay, and the number of hours that the mentor is in the building. This sheet will then give you your total gross sales, your total gross profit, the total hours in the building by the mentor. And so because our target is 70%, this is a number that you will change to know what it's actually costing you for that mentor. Now, the reason this particular document is so important is because when you file for grants and things of that nature, they're going to want to know, what is it costing you for that mentor? Well, this sheet does that calculation for you. So in this example, on the 3-week pay period, we had $9,000 worth of gross profit. We should have had $10,700 worth of gross profit. So we had a shortage of $1,685 in gross profit. And that's the difference between actual gross profit and the 70% target gross profit. So with the hours in the building, our cost for the mentor per hour was $12.77 an hour. And so that's the information that you're going to want to, that they're going to typically need when filing for grants, when you're talking about someone that's in production, but you're also paying them and they're also training. This document helps you calculate that. These documents, of course, these numbers will be backed up by your 941 that you report quarterly, so that we know you're being honest as to what you're paying these people. And then your gross sales numbers will be backed up by your point of sale software. So that's it. Those are the 3 documents you need to get started. Again, welcome to ASLA, and we wish you a great future in a wonderful industry.